All right. Good morning, Mr.
Hey,
Todd
good
Tonore. How are you?
good morning. Doing great, Lori. How are you this morning?
I'm doing good.
Good.
So I just wanted to jump online with you and uh, just kind of do a little bit of an intro for everyone. So let's start with, I know that you were born and raised in Louisiana.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Born and raised in Monroe, Louisiana. Uh, been here since 1990. Uh, Grew up in Monroe. Went to college in Monroe at the University of Louisiana at Monroe. At the time, it was Northeast Louisiana. Uh, Went to work for a small manufacturing facility out of Monroe, and they moved me to Dallas to handle our sales group around the country. And that's what brought me here back in 1990 when Mansfield was 25,000 people. So
Yep.
I've seen quite a change over the last 30 plus years, but Mansfield's been very good to me. I've raised my four daughters here. They all went to MISD. Um, my wife Tanya and I really enjoyed it here, and we built our businesses here. So it's been a really good ride.
So tell me, your businesses. Tell me everything that you do here in Mansfield.
Okay, well, I have multiple businesses. Probably a couple that most people know me by is El Primos, our Tex-Mex restaurant at Matlock and Country Club. We started Primos about 12 years ago. I started basically as a hobby, and it turned into a major business. We now own the Vault Seafood and Steakhouse, which has been very successful steak and seafood restaurant. It's been open now a little over a year, probably close to a year and a half, doing real well. We're in the process of expanding that business as well as expanding Primos. We're building a new Primos in downtown Midlothian. But my primary business is Southern Packaging. We manufacture and distribute industrial packaging. So if you walk down a pet food aisle in a grocery store, we manufacture and distribute those bags that pet food is in. Cement, charcoal, sugar, flour. I have somewhere in the neighborhood, all told, with a little over 300 employees. So our businesses, we've been very blessed. I started the companies all back in actually right around 2002, started my own company, Southern Packaging, and then kind of grown from there. So really surrounded by a lot of really smart business people, a lot of industry people in my packaging business as well as my restaurant businesses. And I think what's really helped me be successful is I've surrounded myself around people a lot smarter than me, Lori. So and I try to stay in my lane. I'm amazed that when in a meeting, I'll say, "Hey, have y'all thought about doing this?" And they go, "Oh, yeah, we thought about it." And that's pretty much the end of it. So, but anyway, it's all about being successful in business. Is all about surrounding yourself around the right people. It's hard to accomplish anything by yourself, and I've really enjoyed over the last 2 years. My term as being on the council was cut short by 6 months, as you know, due to COVID. So I've only served a little over 2 years. By the time the election comes, it'll be 2 years and 6 months. But I really enjoyed working with the business folks that are running the city. I mean, the city's a big business, as we know. They have 600 employees and they manage about $8 billion worth of taxable assets. So I've really enjoyed working with those folks. They're really capable, and the city is really in good shape as we go forward here.
So that brings me to the next question is, why the decision to run again? What's propelling you?
Well, I told people when I ran 2 years ago, and it seemed like yesterday, it's kind of been a whirlwind here the last 2 years. This city is the growth is out of control, and we really need business folks involved. And I'm going to be honest with you, Laura, I told you 2 years ago, guys like me really don't have time for this. But if we don't get involved, our kids and our grandkids are going to be in trouble. I mean, it's this growth. We're dealing currently in Mansfield with tremendous businesses that we've never seen here before, like the likes of HEB and Stronum and a lot of other manufacturers and retailers and developers that are coming in. And you know, we're looking at business guys, big time business guys as they come in. So, you know, we're in a very competitive situation now with our neighbors, Grand Prairie, Arlington, and Midlothian. And it just, you know, it helps to be able to have a little vision or a lot of vision, try to do what it takes with economic development agreements to try to land these guys. Because we, you know, although we call Grand Prairie and Arlington our neighbors, they're really our competitors. So it's important, as we only have 20% of our land mass left, that we get some of the things here that we need for our citizens, the things that they want. So all this tax burden doesn't fall on our single family homes going forward. If that happens, our kids will have trouble living here in the future. It'll be too expensive. It already is expensive to live here, but it's only going to get more expensive. And you know, the growth here is I was reading something the other day, and you probably know this, but when I moved here in 1990, there was 3 million people in DFW. Today there's 8 million. 8 million. And that has springboarded DFW to number 4. They're the 4th largest metropolitan area in the country, and will soon be number 3. We will surpass Chicago here probably in the next 12 to 24 months. Our estimations, you know, close to 10 million people. So, you know, with that being said, we're only behind New York City and LA. So, you know, there's nothing we can do to stop this growth. All we can do is try to manage it. And so, you know, it's an exciting time for me. I've got to meet a lot of really nice people, a lot of strong business folks from all over the country. I've spent a lot of time with our EDC guys traveling, recruiting businesses. We've been pitching instead of catching. So, and it's been exciting, and I feel like I need to stay involved, because we've got a lot of things that we've been working on the last 2 years. 2 years is a very short time when you look at recruiting businesses and trying to get them to break ground and get them entrenched in your community. So for me to step aside right now would be awful, based on everything that we're currently working on. So the citizens have only seen a very small portion, and that also includes the infrastructure as well. I mean, we've set aside $125 million for infrastructure over the next 6 years to try to get our roads up. Every city in the Metroplex with this kind of growth is playing catch up. It's not just Mansfield. So, and Mansfield will play catch up over the next 10 years. It's going to take a while. We could pass a $100 million street bond tomorrow. I know our citizens would vote for it, but if we did, we would have every road torn up instead of just the ones that we've got planned with 125 million over the next 3 to 4 years. So it's an exciting time. And again, people ask me, why do you do this? And again, that's why I'm doing it. I mean, it's exciting. I will tell you this, it takes a tremendous amount of time to do it right. When I ran 2 years ago, I was told, hey, you're going to spend 2 days a month in a meeting. Yeah.
Who told you that?
4 meetings, had 4 meetings yesterday. So, but anyway, it you know, again, it's a very exciting time. Mansfield I'm a sales guy by heart, and Mansfield is a great product to be able to sell.
Okay.
It really.
So we know that you have a challenger. What do you feel sets you apart? What's your differentiator?
Well, I've known Gary. Gary's a nice person. He's a city employee. He worked for the city of Mansfield for 33 plus years. I'm a business guy, Lori. I'm a builder. You know, I'm not a maintainer. and I think where our city is today, you need someone of my caliber in this seat that has vision, that has the ability to work with other business guys. I'm amazed when I get in meetings with all these developers. They seem to be staring me right in the face going, "Hey, Todd, we know you're heavily invested here in this community. Talk to us. I mean, how hard is it to get employees? Talk to us about insurance, talk to us about this or that." And I think I have a tremendous amount of experience that my competitor does not have. So again, if this city was built out, then, an accountant or a finance guy would be great to keep score. But right now we're trying to score. I mean, we're in a very competitive situation, and it's important that we get the right product on the ground here to take care of our expenses of the city forever. So, and forever is a long time. So I feel like.
Let me ask you another question.
Okay.
With your business background, let me ask you a business question. So looking at everything that you just said, what do you feel is the biggest challenge for any business as we move forward?
Naturally, interest rates. I mean, in order to grow a business, you have to have, when you're in business, there's only a couple sources you can go to for funding. You can go to financial institutions or a very rich grandmother, and I don't have a rich grandmother. So, when rates increase, it affects our ability to borrow money and grow our businesses. So, it's obvious. You can see that as these rates have doubled in the last, very short time, 6-8 months, it don't sound like a lot, but when you go from 4% to 8%, that 4%, you cannot pass that on to a customer. That is just an expense that you must absorb within your business. And that makes it very, very difficult for small businesses, because most people that are in small businesses, Lori, have to borrow money to operate. If they had money, they wouldn't be in business, right? They'd be on a beach somewhere. And that's, so that, to me, that is one of the most difficult challenges. It's one that, the cost of insurance is very expensive, continues to go up. Everything that's associated with our businesses, it's very hard for us to pass along, but the interest rate increase is really one of the biggest challenges that small businesses will face. And our children, I mean, trying to buy homes, in Mansfield, the average new home price last year was $795,000. So if you think about that, even our young professionals, in order for them to buy a house, they need 20% down. I mean, you're talking about $150,000 down before they even make the first payment. And, a lot of young folks don't have that. And I think that's why you're seeing a lot of young folks leaning toward these multifamily components where they can get started in a town and then eventually save enough money to buy a house. So, I mean, I've seen it even with my own children. I've got 4 daughters. All of them are highly educated, and it's tough. I mean, it's tough on them. They make really good money, but it's hard for them to come up with those down payments in order to get started. It was much easier for us when, back when I moved to Mansfield, the average home price was 200,000. Well, now it's quadruple. So very, very difficult, very difficult. So, but again, from a business standpoint, that's my challenge. And the other challenge I fight, and most business guys fight, is trying to keep good people. Our younger generation wants to job hop a lot. I find that I'll hire young guys or young folks, and we'll get them trained. It takes a period of time before you can get somebody trained before they're productive for a company. And next thing you know, your competitor hires them. And one thing that's really strange about this younger generation that didn't necessarily happen in our generation is, Lori, they'll leave you in an email. I mean, I've had employees work for me for a year and a half, and I get an email, "Hey, I got a better opportunity. Thanks for the opportunity." And I'm like, unbelievable. I mean, but it's scary in a sense. But
Yeah, it's a different world for sure.
it's definitely a different world, but the way we do business is different. I mean, look at this. We're on
Yeah,
FaceTime.
yeah.
I mean, it's crazy the way we do business. I mean, when I was in my packaging company, everything was face to face, and now it's Zoom, but a lot of it's email, text. They
Yeah.
don't even speak to each other on the phone anymore. So there's been a lot of challenges, and I've had to basically hire a lot of younger folks within all of my businesses to stay up with those challenges. And because again, call me old school, but I'm old school when it comes to certain things. So
Okay. Any final comments before we sign off here?
no, I just appreciate the opportunity. Again, 2 years went real quick. I've been honored to serve as the city's mayor pro tem the last 2 years, and hopefully I'll have that opportunity to continue over the next 3 years. So I appreciate everything you do for the chamber, and thank you for your time.
Absolutely. We do have our candidate forum coming up, and then also our Chamber of Business luncheon where people will get to visit with you one-on-one. So all that information will be out there. Thank you so much, Todd. Appreciate it, and good luck to you.
Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate
All right.
it. Have a great
Okay.
day. All right. Bye-bye.
You do the same.
Thanks. Bye-bye.